Hello, I'm Nelson Williams, and this is a quick review of the free-to-play MMO World of Tanks. Yes, tank simulation with an action game edge. I'd like to explain a few things about the game right here. What you have basically is a bunch of tanks of various types going at each other in a battlefield. There are two types of basic games. A random battle, where you have your team, the other team, a map, and flags. You can pretty much figure out what happens from there. There's also a team battle thing, a tank company battle, where guilds of tank warriors get together to take and hold land and territory, which earns them various rewards at the end of the day. For right now, though, I'd just like to show off what we have in the way of the game right here. What we're looking at right now is the tank I have selected in my garage. This right here is an M3 Stuart, a third-tier light tank. Light tanks are basically used for screaming and dying. They scoot around the battlefield at high speeds, they have tiny little guns that more or less annoy people, and they spot for other tanks. They detect enemies and where they're located, which allows other people to hunt them down and kill them. This is very useful and generally appreciated. I have 12,000 credits and 173 research points. Research points allow you to run up the tech tree, buy new goodies, new tanks. Credits allow you to, well, also buy new goodies and new tanks, but from a different angle. There's also another thing, a gold currency. Gold is where the free-to-play comes in. You see, I'm playing free-to-play. I don't get gold. If I gave them money, I would get gold. Gold is a shortcut. It is a cheat. It allows you to buy better tanks, better ammo, better goodies. Not just cosmetic stuff. We're talking things that could turn a 2-hit kill into a 1-hit kill. This is vitally important. But as free-playing scum, we make do with what we have. I'm an altaholic. And here's what World of Tanks has to offer. This tech tree right here is not the techs I can buy, but rather the tanks I can buy. As you can see, there are quite a few, and this is just one country. This is the USA. These bright ones are the tanks I bought already, which might give you an indication of where my alcoholism goes. Let's show you the actual game, shall we? Alright. As you can see, we're just loading in, and we got a whole 10 seconds to figure things out. These are our companions. The symbols above them indicate what kind of tank they are. Diamond, like this guy, is a light tank like ourselves. Square, like this guy, I believe that's artillery. Diamonds with slashes in them indicate medium and heavy tanks, respectively. That upside down diamond right there, or that square right there, is artillery. The upside down diamond is a tank killer, a tank destroyer. As a light tank, one of our duties is to scout out enemy positions, which is what we're doing now. We don't have much in the way of good cover here, which is a bit of a shame, and it's making me kind of nervous. If they can see me, but I can't see them, that means that their artillery can aim in on me, and I don't want that.
Punch right through their armor.
Okay, that guy wasn't even aiming at us, which is good,
Critical hit.
because we are not good at taking damage. See how he just exploded there for no reason? That's probably because our artillery got him. If I can see him, that means our artillery can see him. And artillery in this game is a real killer. It will devastate you if you allow it to. Fortunately, we didn't allow it to, and we were able to escape that fight without a scratch. But we want to keep moving. Again, if we can see them, chances are they can see us. And if they can see us, that means our artillery can see us. We want to prevent that from happening. We'll know it's happened if the ground suddenly explodes around us for no good reason. But until that time, we'll want to kind of close in on their position. At this point, I'm far enough in the backfield that I might be able to sneak up on their artillery.
The engine is damaged.
Let's see if I can do that. I've been spotted by somebody. Probably him. And I'll want to get away from him.
We're dead for. Get out.
Yep, there we go. He got us. But we got some shots in on him. Light tanks can't take much damage. Now from here we can basically we can watch ourselves burn, and of course we can give reports about things that are around our position to our teammates, which is kind of cheaty, but it's a fun thing to do. We can also jump to other of our teammates in spectator mode. Oh, that did not end well. This is an artillery unit. As you can see, it's open-topped, ammo everywhere, completely vulnerable, and here's a gun. It's a big gun. It's a gun that can shoot halfway across the map if we let it. We're going to run a battle with that just to show you what it looks like when you play an artillery unit. It's very different from the cockpit view of an ordinary tank. And this is us on the battlefield. Apparently the game already started and we were slow on the draw. Possibly lag. Well, artillery wants to find a good position to shoot from. And this high ground up here looks to be it. As you can see, another artillery unit is already diving himself into cover. Actually, that's a light tank. Okay, well, a light tank is diving into artillery unit cover. Also, you can see, our tank does not handle hills very well. Artillery units have very poor stats in general. So we're not very fast, we're not very agile. But that doesn't matter because of this. Boom. This is the view artillery units have of the battlefield. We can see our fellow tanks there. We can see enemy tanks there. That smallifying circle is our scatter. The smaller that circle gets on people, the closer we can shoot, the closer our shot will be to hitting them. So as you can see, we're zeroing in on this guy. And we lose our circle, which means we can't hit him. But he has a friend. Let's see if we can hit his friend. Yes, park in that cover. Stay still for 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Ah, he stopped moving just as we fired, and our shot goes wide. However, we have a tank closer up here. Let's see if we can hit this guy. Let's see if we can find this guy. Uh-oh, this is bad. It looks like he's behind us. So we're going to shift out of here and direct fire on him. We're not made to do this. Direct fire is not good for us. Please kill him. We are slow loading and we have a very large circle. That circle right there, of course. And we're done.
This vehicle is heading.
Now, here's the important question. What do I think of World of Tanks? Well, it's definitely an interesting game. It has a very good attention to detail. The tanks are very detailed, the equipment and the vehicles are very period. It has a good feel, it has a good look to it. It really feels like you're running around in thumpy, heavy armored vehicles. It's loud, it sounds like engines, there are thumps and bumps and crunks and scraping metal. It's a really good experience. But it doesn't take itself so seriously that it wants to be a simulator. It doesn't want to be exact and real. The real tank experience would be, well, you see this tiny slit at the front of the tank? That would be what I'd see the battlefield through. That would be my experience until a shell punctured it, whereas upon, my world would basically collapse in fire and screaming. That's not the tanking experience I particularly want, although I hear some people enjoy that sort of thing. So it's a lot more casual than a proper tank simulator, but that does it credit, because that makes it a lot more accessible and a lot more fun to play. The random battles here make it very easy to pick up and play, which is a good thing in a game like this. As for me, I'm an ultaholic. I get my fun from playing a bunch of different characters, and in this case, a bunch of different tanks. As you can see, the light tank here that we ran around with played a lot differently from the artillery. It was very fast, covered a lot of ground, spotted enemy tanks, but it didn't have much firepower. Meanwhile, the artillery basically wrecks people from above if you can zoom in and aim on them. It's a death from above, heck of a sniper, but it takes some getting used to because it's not really a glory machine. You're not going to be up front leading the charge, and you're very helpless if someone is able to sneak around the backfield and put a couple shots in your rear. It's an entirely different experience. Each one of the tanks, really, the medium tank here and the tank destroyer here, they all play very differently, and that really scratches my alcoholic itch. I really like the variety in the experience this gives me. No tank is really useless. They all have a place in the battle, and they all have a purpose that you can fill. So you don't have to level up to the top level tank to feel like you're part of the battle or contributing to your team, which I think is a really good thing that a lot of games in a lot of MMOs that have PvP forget this lesson, and I think World of Tanks has learned it fairly well. The drawback, of course, is this is a free-to-play game, which means it runs on a cash shop. Those gold coins over there. Now, gold coins aren't just used for cosmetic stuff. They buy advantages. They buy better tanks, they buy better weapons, they buy better ammo. People who can throw gold coins into the battle are probably going to win. It gives them a serious edge over us free-to-play pubbies. You know, the scum that populate the game. And I consider that something of a drawback, especially when you're on the other team of other side of an organized team who has a considerable amount of gold to throw around. You put 5 shots into them, they laugh it off with their superior gold tanks, they put 1 shot into you, you're kindling. This game also has a very slow power-up curve. After a certain point, you basically hit a wall where you have to do 10, 15, 20 battles to level up to your next tank or your next significant piece of equipment. Of course, gold coins can be spent to buy that same experience and credits and whatever else you need. So someone with a lot of gold coins to spend can basically rocket up the tree, while scum like me basically has to grind their way through it at a slow, grueling pace. Would I recommend World of Tanks? Definitely. It is a fun game, and it does have a lot of variety into it, a lot of personality into it. You can definitely find a place that suits you in here, and you can definitely find a group that suits you. It's a very social game. It has a in-game chat function, in-game voice, and it allows you to join up in guilds that can play a larger take-and-hold, territory-conquer kind of game, which earns you guild rewards and personal rewards. There's a lot to enjoy about this game, and there's definitely a lot of enthusiasm and love put into it by the developer. It's fairly obvious that they care about the game and want to see good things happen in it. This isn't a generic by-the-numbers, formulaic, grind-out game spat out by the Korean mass-producing hordes. This didn't come out of a factory. This didn't come out of a sweatshop. This is not a generic game that makes cute sounds and tries to, you know, seduce you in with scantily clad teenagers saving the world. This is about real men, real tanks, real fighting, and exploding in 2 shots. If you're into that, you'll find a lot to love in World of Tanks. If you want something that's a bit more adventuresome, that has a bit more role-playing to it, this isn't your game. But if you just want to roll out in a heavy thumping slab of metal and blow hell out of other people, there's very few things in this game you'll dislike, and there are very few other games that give you that feeling and that sensation. This is a game for people who like fuel and fire and smoke and cannon. If that describes you, jump on in. I'll be waiting for you. With my tiny little gun. Tiny little gun. I'm Nelson Williams. This is World of Tanks. Thank you for watching.